We are here today to discuss the 1994 film Forrest Gump, and we have a question regarding Forrest and Bubba's relationship that we're going to talk about in this video. And that question is, was Bubba Forrest's only true friend?
I'm Heit.
And I'm Cheri.
And you've discovered Axiom Amnesia.
We want to thank all of the supporters who helped to make this video possible. If you want your name to appear alongside these contributors, make a one-time donation via Cash App, or you can head on over to patreon.com/axiomamnesia to enjoy all of the benefits of becoming a monthly subscriber. There will be some spoilers. We are just going to go deep. So if you haven't seen Forrest Gump and you don't want it spoiled, go ahead and hop off the call. I'll forgive you, and then you can come back at the point when you are ready. But if you haven't seen Forrest Gump and you want to hear the discussion, don't worry. We'll tell you all about the important things in the film so that you won't get lost and you'll be able to participate just like as if you did see the movie, okay? Okay, let's talk about Bubba. Was Bubba the only true friend Forrest ever had? Did
Jenny was. Here we go
Jenny
again with what's the friend is. See, there we go again.
Was Jenny a true friend? Because Jenny was just popping in and out.
Just because you don't like what she does doesn't mean she isn't a true friend. Like, I'm going to say this every time.
You know, so there's definitely something.
He was his closest friend.
He was.
Yeah, so that's probably the thing.
Well, this is a little more controversial, but what about Forrest left his best friend and let him die? But we're going to get to that. Bubba may have been the only character in Forrest's life who truly understood him and accepted him because, you know, Bubba had the similar limitation, right? And unlike the others who had different motivations or relationships with him, Bubba really wasn't motivated. He was very happy that they just to have Forrest and Forrest have him. He even says at one point in the film, you know, we like brothers. And this is why we're good for each other because, you know, we can look out for each other like brothers do. And then he invites, this is while, you know, they're out in Vietnam. He invites Forrest to start a business with him, a shrimping business and whatever. Because so he saw Forrest's worth and use, and he's already in his head figured out how they could work the business and everything and wouldn't have to pay for rent.
I don't know if he's seen his use and all of that, but like LaToya says, he was his true friend because he was basically his mirror, right? Yeah. They were just the same. I think that Bubba would have the same assessment that we had of Forrest.
Did Bubba's mama sleep with the principal?
Bruh, I don't know about all that. Too? But what happens is if you look at what happened with Bubba was only really talking about himself and stuff, right? He had this one-dimensional outlook. Everything was about, I know about shrimp, I'm going to start this. And like with Forrest accepted him as a friend, so now he is a part of him, right? So then, hey, we can start the business together now, right? Because you are my friend now, because you just sit here and listen to me all day long. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they were just basically that much alike where, hey, might as well, right? But he was just going along for the ride like everyone else. But he had his family history of shrimp that just was guiding him.
Yeah, it was like his obsession. He had a shrimp obsession, you know. So, but Forrest's relationship with Bubba is really one of true friendship. It's built on this mutual respect and loyalty. The two bond during their time in Vietnam, where Bubba shares his dream of starting that shrimp business like we were talking about. And Forrest embraces this. So despite their intellectual challenges, Bubba and Forrest's connection, it transcends these limitations as they form deep, trusting bond. And Bubba's untimely death in the war profoundly impacts Forrest, and he honors his friend's memory by pursuing Bubba's shrimping dream and turning it into a successful business. And Forrest's loyalty to Bubba remains unwavering, and their friendship remains a cornerstone of his life. But let's just rewind, right? Because Bubba's untimely death, well, would it have happened to him if, they started getting attacked and then Forrest, Lieutenant Dan tells Forrest to run, and then Forrest can't just run a little bit. Forrest runs so long and so far that he abandons Bubba And then by the time he remembers to go back and look for Bubba, he encounters all of these different people that he has to then rescue because he's not going to just leave him there. And then when he finally gets back to Bubba is just, he rescues Bubba, but it's over with.
That's how it goes, right? That's the mission. You know what I'm saying? If he stuck by Bubba, maybe he could have saved him, right? But he saved whoever he saw first. Right, so I don't know if he necessarily left him, but it's Forrest being Forrest. So did he make a mistake in the sense that he shouldn't have ran off that way? But would he have been able to save all the people who he saved?
Well, I think the way he says it, he made a mistake. You know what I mean? I just wanted to jump in here to encourage you to join our free Patreon tier. Yes, we have premium paid memberships on Patreon and YouTube channel members who get exclusive content, early releases, and other perks. But we are now also offering a free Patreon membership tier where you will get videos that are not offered to the general public on YouTube. For example, we just dropped a 3.5-hour watch party for the new Luther Never Too Much documentary on our free tier, where you get to watch the full movie along with us in our commentary. If you like what you see, you can join one of our paid membership tiers later, or you can just remain as a free member with no strings attached. This free Patreon membership does not give you access to all of the paid exclusive content and early releases that our premium Patreon and YouTube channel members enjoy, but we wanted a way to offer you a better viewing experience without many of the restrictions that we have on this platform. So come on over and join us on Patreon. The link is in the description. It's easy and free to join. You can simply log in with your Google or existing social media accounts and begin enjoying Axiom Amnesia's Patreon. Now back to the show. Like, I think the way he says it, he's like, I made a mistake.
That's to the individual, right? But if you are a soldier in the military, then you don't decide who you saving. You don't favor one over the other in certain circumstances, right?
But what about the running? I'm saying if he never ran like that and got so far away, he
probably wouldn't have saved all the other people.
Well,
right?
So Bubba was a sacrifice.
Not a sacrifice. It's just that's
just how the cookie crumbled. That's just how the fate had it.
Look, if you get into a real stories of Vietnam, then right, that's just how things happen when you're in war, right? So maybe he's lucky he wasn't there, because he probably wouldn't have made it himself, right?
Yeah,
so who knows?
You might be right.
It's Forrest Gump, right? There's a reason that he's still here. He was the luckiest guy in the world.
He really was. Luck was on his side, So let us talk about the Bubba Gump shrimp and all of that. And, Forrest did take care of Bubba's family after everything had happened. When he got his money, because, he invested at Apple, and then he had some money, and then he was able to start his shrimping business and get the boat and do all that. And then, crazy thing happens, and then they caught all that shrimp and all that, right? So the question, though, is, did Forrest exploit Bubba's dreams, or did he make the promise and do what, his
I don't
friend
know.
wanted?
What's the agreement that if I'm not here, you still starting?
They didn't have an agreement, right?
Yeah.
Because they assumed they'd both still be alive.
Exactly. But does it matter? Because he's not here to do it. A lot of people start the same business. It's like, if I tell somebody my idea and then I die, then they do it. Oh, well, like, what? You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I ain't doing it. You might as well do it. And then he paid the family, right?
So here's the devil's advocate type of thing. Forrest, he exploited Bubba's dream for his own personal gain, and he did break off some money for the family. But he
gave him a portion from somebody who wasn't even involved.
Yes, but if Bubba had been alive, maybe they would have had jobs. Maybe it would have been even bigger on his 50%. Things might have been different. But I guess they should just be happy that somebody started the business and they got some proceeds, maybe. But Bubba also had a passion for shrimping. That was clear, because he couldn't stop talking about the shrimp. He had deep knowledge of the shrimping industry, and he dreamed of building a successful business, right? And so when Bubba dies in the Vietnam War, before he could see his dream realized, Forrest, without much knowledge of shrimping himself or anything, is like, yeah, I'm about to get this boat and make this thing happen. And so the question, I think, is just whether Forrest was honoring his late friend, or is just kind of capitalizing on the vision, but innocently, right? He
named it Bubba Gump, right?
Yeah, but
paid the parents.
How much he paid them? I can't remember.
His share, probably half.
He paid him half. He sold the business, or you just give him a
he
one-time
didn't sell
payment.
it. No, he kept bringing
half
checks
of the
over
revenue.
there.
I mean, but like
then
I want more
details. The question is about Dan and how he had him running the stuff while he off doing other things.
Look, because if y'all don't already know, Heit is really into labor. Any film about labor, any issues of labor, Heit is into labor, and he likes fair working conditions, as do I. But yeah, so yeah, that's a good point about Lieutenant Dan.
The Killing Floor, amazing movie. I think that's the name of it. 1984.
So yeah, so I mean, that was really more of a devil's advocate question.
But so the thing is that he took your boy's vision and he realized it. I think that's a great honor. But because it wasn't going to happen at all, right? So there's that. But if Bubba was around, then Bubba knew the stuff.
Right.
Your boy didn't know nothing. He
Could've
just
been,
was wasting
maybe even
money.
Bigger.
He almost just wasted the money he had. Bubba would have known early what to do, how to get the shrimp, where to get them from.
Bubba already had
stuff.
his idea together. He was like, and then we could pay it off. We could live on the boat and you ain't even got to pay no rent. Like Bubba had it all figured out as he sat there in Vietnam back to back.
Not just the business side, but just the part on, they went so long, they didn't even catch any shrimp. He caught 5 shrimp or something when he went out.
Justice says, Forrest said he would do it and he did it, and that's the kind of guy he was. Lieutenant Dan got CEO wages. LOL. Forrest Gump was the founder. They did the head tilt together. That was the test. Shy Girl said the head tilt. But yeah, so I, as I think about the best friend that Bubba had in this, Bubba, that Forrest had in this film, it was Bubba.
Yeah, but how long did they know each other?
Probably a year.
Probably.
It was the best year of his life.
Of whose life?
Forrest Gump.
Dang, he didn't even know how bad it was in war. Yeah. So just think about it. Like, he knew this guy for, I don't know, let's say 2 years. If the tour lasted 2 years or however long they've been there. That's not that long of a time when you consider your life. When you get older, right, then you realize how short of a time it is.
Oh, gosh, yes.
But when you're younger in your 20s, you're probably like, dang, Bubba was such a good friend, you know what I'm saying? And just how much of an impact he had. We probably spent a lot of time with him, though, more than you would spend with somebody who you casually meet with on the weekends. So you have that, too. But he didn't really know him that long.
No, not.
And all I seen was he was talking about shrimp the whole time.
Yes. So here's a question: how does the portrayal of both Forrest and Bubba as mentally slow challenge the stereotypes about intellectually impaired people, intelligence, and success?
I think it's one of the best portrayals. Because the way they show it, they don't show it as a disability, right? They just show it as, all right, this is the perspective of this person who just happens to have what we consider an ailment, right? And then everything they care about, right, we care about is our relationship with the people whom we love and trying to find love and all that. And maybe even strike off and start a business based on the traditions of our family. That's it. Right? And we attach to them. We ain't look at them. We didn't look down on these characters, right? We just look at them. We're rooting for them and everything, right? It's just like, dang.
Yeah.
And I think that Forrest is probably the most beloved, and Bub is probably the second most beloved character in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I just think about Lieutenant Dan when he told Bubba to tuck his lip in. I don't know why. That just got me because he said he had big gums.
I just got big gums, sir.
I don't know why that just gets me.
Why?
Every
time.
Big
gums.
But I think to kind of get at the answer to that question, the portrayal of people is, when I just navigate through life, I think that people, I don't know, in some ways, I think if you know where you might be slightly deficient, then you can kind of figure out how to pivot in ways that help you to be successful in spite of it. But there's definitely something to be said.
Deficiency in the thinking part.
Yeah. But like in a way, there's something to be said in a way for the people who don't go through life, like you said, as if they have some problem. They just go through life and they just exist. But I've personally seen in some people like the frustration of what it is to be attempting to compete with people who just have more intellectual abilities. Yeah, and that's really hard.
Right? So I think that the way the society is set up again is you're told, even though it may not be true, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that kind of get at that at the film. When you go to school and you see somebody's making the good grades and you're not making the good grades and like, they're so smart, they're so smart, they're so smart. You know what I'm saying? Then you probably have this natural thing of feeling not that, right? Or at least inferior in a way.
Yeah.
Until you get around the 2010s and then everybody on equal footing on the internet.
Everybody's smart regardless. Everybody's on the internet. Everybody comes to the comments in Axiom Amnesia and attempts to school everyone. The people who we were just talking about.
Life.
See, I know we were just talking about Dr. Pratt and how he is an actual emergency department physician who is breaking down scenes in some of these movies that are medical scenes. And people in the comments believe they know more simply because they just know more. Not, simply
because they heard a thing once upon a time.
Simply because their mama said, just like Forrest Gump mama said. So we have that, aspect of things. But I mean, I laugh. I laugh at that stuff. But what I would say is this, and might sound controversial, but we talk a lot about pretty privilege. We talk about what it means to be good looking and what it means when, you are in the world and you're just navigating and it's the seas are parting because you just look good. You beautiful. We were talking about sweetness and ATL and how, he had that charisma and everything. And because of his physical appearance, how, a lot was easier. And we talked about, for instance, Diamond in the Players Club, the same sort of thing, because she could get more clients coming over there to see her dance than her cousin Ebony could get, right? Because they did not have the same level of pretty privilege. Now, there is also intellectual privilege, whether or not you realize it. So for all the people, if you're sitting back feeling like, oh, I'm, I really believe everybody's given something, and probably most people are average in most areas, right? But some people might just be extraordinary in one area or another, and if you are extraordinary beautiful, then great for you. And you better count that as an asset that you have, because you might not be, some extraordinary in another category. But people always look at it like grass is always greener.
Yeah.
And you always want what you don't have. If you're smart, you want to be prettier.
Right. And you get the people who's like, okay, I'm not smart or I'm not pretty. But then you start to talk down on those things that you don't have, right? Like,
Fox in the Grapes.
Pretty don't get you nowhere.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, you might be smart, but you ain't got no money, and all those sorts of things. Oh, you got money, poor, but you ain't got this.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, truth be told, probably everybody has something.
What's the Fox and the Grapes?
Well, it's where the fox is. It's I think it's one of Aesop's fables. But basically, a fox comes along and he sees these grapes and it's too high, and he keeps jumping and trying to get the grapes, and he can't get the grapes. And then finally, after he can't get the grapes, after many times of trying, and he's frustrated, he's like, I didn't want them grapes anyway. And so it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I can't have it, so I don't want it, and so
I think of Flex Alexander. I don't know why, but it was something about there's a hole. I don't know, an ant, something fall into the hole, right? And then a rat comes and try to get him out, and he in a Ferrari, and he can't get the Ferrari, and then an ant come, and then basically the ant whip out his, and then whoever stuck in the hole climbs out, and he say, "You don't need a Ferrari when you got a big." That's the joke.
So that's crazy.
That was probably on Def Comedy Jam back in the day.
Foolishness.
He ain't say it like that. That's me.
So do you? I don't know why that made me laugh. But as we are coming to the close of this, I just want to re-encourage everybody to please, if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to all the channels that are linked in the description, because we have 4 channels for you all to be enjoying content across. And
4?
Yes, we have Heit the Great, Axiom Amnesia, Axiom Amnesia 2.0, and Heit Cheri of Axiom Amnesia. So 3 of them are about movies, and then one is Heit the Great, which is Heit's channel where he talks. Heit, tell him what you talk about.
I just talk about music, y'all.
Yeah, music.
In depth.
And
music, lyrics, theory, all that.
So, but all of these things really help to support the channel. Feel free, but go ahead, do support and join our free Patreon tier. That is also linked in the description. And just so you guys know, every little bit counts. If you're helping by watching the videos, watching the ads, we just appreciate all of that. Also, as far as ways that you can donate via Cash App, just single donations. Same thing with the thanks and the super chats. You all can do all of that. And in addition, if you want something that's more continuous, then, feel free to get a premium subscription, preferably on Patreon, because that gives us a little more flexibility. But also, you can do it as a YouTube channel member as well. And so that's 2 ways that you can help to support the channel. And then when you do support in those ways, you will get your name on our videos, just like you see at the beginning, where it's like, these are all of the people who helped to make this video possible.
Right.
You will be one of them. So we appreciate
We
everything.
are on Twitch. We're on Kick. Follow us on Kick or whatever it's called. Subscribe. Can you? No, I don't think you can subscribe yet. We need our following to get up on Twitch and Kick.
Yeah, so if y'all are over there, make sure you follow. Feel free also to comment on this video with any of the movies you want us to cover that are in this vein. Stuff like Forrest Gump and Shawshank Redemption and The Truman Show and other movies that, you think are great and you want to see.
If you made it this far, type "trying to find love" in the comments so we'll know you're one of the real ones who stick around to the end.
And don't forget to join our free Patreon tier and check out the video that's on the screen right now.